What's going on, people? Good morning. Welcome to another reflection, man. The morning after, the afternoon after, the night before. Yes, this is where I take some time out, I calm down, and I reanalyze what I said. Did I mean it? Was I over the top? Was I too angry? All of that stuff. But welcome to the video. The last video, my last video, apart from if there's some breaking news about some sort of crazy stuff, which is always capable, always possible at Man United. Last video of 2023 as well. So I kind of want it to be a little bit positive. I was thinking to come on here and continue the Ten Hag thing and how the players are going and stuff like that. But then there was a big bit of news. Well, an interesting article, I'd say. I say big bit of news. It could be significant. We have to wait and see. But Duncan Castles from the Times is claiming in quite a big piece that Man United are safe to spend big after 235 million INEOS investment. Now, we know that Sir Jim Ratcliffe was part of him taking the club on in for 25%. He was going to sort of pledge money, I think the best part of 250 million of his own money into making investments into the infrastructure, into the stadium, etc., etc. And we were all sort of like, it's hardly gonna touch the sides, is it really? 250 million ain't gonna build you a new stadium. It ain't gonna build you a new training complex. Definitely ain't gonna clear all our debt. So what is it really going to do apart from little things like we've seen front of Old Trafford, get some new banners, get that new lick of paint that the Glazers done, I think, year before last, so they made it a bit more red, and put some new posters up. That's pretty much what 250 million can do, and fix probably a couple of cracks in the roof at best. That's what it's going to do. But Duncan Castles is suggesting that it could be a little bit more to this. So I wanted to just take you guys through it and see, because I'm still kind of going through it now and thinking, trying to decide what does this mean? Is it true? Can things happen in January? Can we buy more players? Because what Duncan Castles is suggesting is that because of Sir Jim Ratcliffe's immediate investment into the club, that's going to give us basically more wriggle room within financial fair play. Whereas the Glazers, who always declined to put their own money in, didn't do that. So that drastically improves our chances and improves our kitty, our transfer kitty, definitely in the summer, but also says that we're attempting to offload a number of first team players and squad players to raise the funds for the January window. He also says that as transfer fees are amortized, adding 90 million to Man United's profit and sustainability rule limit, which is set by Premier League, limit grants Ratcliffe's sports management team the option of spending several hundred million more on recruiting new players and coaching staff. The Premier League's profit and sustainability rule restricts clubs to allowable losses of 15 million over 3 years. So every 3 years, you can only lose up to 15 million pounds in terms of reported losses. With an additional 90, this is the interesting bit. With an additional 90 million allowed if owners inject new equity. So what Duncan Castles is saying is that yes, over a 3 year period, you can't have losses that equate to over 15 million pounds. But if you have owners, which obviously we never have done, if you have owners who put new equity into the business, into the club, i.e. their own money, then that gives you an extra 90 million are allowed of basically expenditure. So the Glazers declined to provide capital, which we know during that time, but Ratcliffe's investment gives Man United extra room now. So he's basically saying that if Ratcliffe comes in and slaps down 235 million, the best part of that allows Man United a 90 million pound extra kitty, which the way we've been spending, that's one Anthony. Yeah, that's one Anthony. Now, I'm not suggesting that we're going to go out and do that again. And I'm not suggesting we're going to go and spend 90 million pounds on one player, which would be absolutely stupid. But what it does look like could be possible, according to Duncan Castles, which again, we have to wait and see how this transpires. It looks like if Sir Jim Ratcliffe lands and everything gets ratified, excuse the pun, that he can come in, slap that money down and give us some extra wriggle room. Now, I went into the article to actually get a bit more context on this to see, exactly, because when you get it from aggregator accounts, sometimes they only take the key bits and don't give you all the context. It was actually United District who I saw who was kind of putting up the stuff and put the link to the original post. A big up to United District, great guys. Got some stuff coming with them as well, by the way. But basically, it reads like this. In July, UEFA fined United 300,000 euros for what the club described as a minor technical breach of FFP. I remember when that happened. It's about 260 grand. And basically, it says that, where are we at now? So, during the European governing body's 2022 reporting period, that's when that happened. United's player recruitment has also been constrained by the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules. That's the PSR that I was talking about, which restricts clubs to 15 million of allowable losses over 3 years. Hence, we know that bit. While a further 90 million of losses is permitted. Right. So you're allowed an extra 90 million pounds of losses, i.e. spend that money and not have to recoup it, is permitted if owners inject new equity into a club. United have been unable to spend a higher PSR limit as the Glazer family decided or declined to provide additional capital. We know what the Glazers have been on. We know that they haven't been wanting to, put their own money in. And as soon as they've needed to put their own money in, they've put the club up for partial sale or strategic alternative and ended up with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. We know every single thing about the intention or lack of from the Glazer family. The structure of Ratcliffe's Christmas Eve deal, however, with the American family removes that limitation. So basically what we want to know is, can we spend in January? Can we spend in the summer? When can this happen? The headroom created by increasing United's allowable losses from 15 million to 105 million is greater than it first appears, as transfer fees are amortized over the length of players' contract, adding 90 million to United's PSR budget. So basically, we can spend money. I'm taking this as we can spend money as soon as Sir Jim Ratcliffe does this, because it gives us the 90 million PSR limit, when before we didn't have it because our owners wouldn't put their equity into the club. So that's interesting. It's very interesting, because it also says that Sir Jim Ratcliffe's investment into Man United is set to increase substantially the club's ability to buy players in the summer without breaching financial rules. In addition to purchasing 25% of the club's existing shares, the INEOS chairman has committed to making a £300 million new equity investment, a move expected to improve greatly the club's strained financial fair play position. And it also says the club are attempting, which is interesting, the club are attempting to offload a number of first team and squad players to raise funds for January. So I think the Sir Jim Ratcliffe sort of injection of cash, to come back to it full circle, I think the Sir Jim Ratcliffe in injection of cash would only probably come in the summer. So I think there's a bigger budget that we could rely on in the summer, which is positive. But I don't think that's going to be for now. I mean, January is tomorrow. This isn't going to happen then. But he said, according to Duncan Castles, that Man United are trying to offload players in January, to offload first team and squad players to raise funds for January. So we know in January that doesn't really change unless Martial leaves and we get a little bit of money for him, or he just leaves and comes off the wage bill. Unless, like we've discussed, big bids coming from Saudi for the likes of Rafael Varane and Casemiro, which the way Varane's playing right now, the injuries we've got, probably need to see those through to the end of the season. Although, what does the end of the season look like? I said it yesterday, right off top four, we're probably going to finish mid-table. Even our next 5 games I've seen are, could put us in big trouble. Yes, Wigan's one of them, but in the league, I think it's Spurs, Wolves away, Luton away, Aston Villa away, and someone else home. Like, tough games. Tough games. And only INEOS know that if we keep taking more hidings like this and keep doing this, only they know whether they'll stick with Erik ten Hag to the end of the season. I think they should stick with Erik ten Hag to the end of the season so that they can plan of what they want to do. I stick by that. I know yesterday, and this is a bit more into my reflection, but I know yesterday may have come across like, don't be so don't be ten Hag out, stuff like that. And I do get a bit annoyed when people are like, oh, this channel keeps flip flopping or da 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 da. I'm sorry. At the end of the day, this is how this goes. Everybody gets to make up their mind how they see fit. And yes, it might change week to week. I ain't telling anybody else what to think. I ain't telling you what to think. So when I see comments like that, it does annoy you, because I don't know whether people think, I don't know, I'm not that expression, or I'm always trying to appease both sides, or you're in with the club a little bit, or you see the players. So as soon as I do start speaking my mind, people get a little bit confused and they're like, oh, why are you saying this? Why are you saying that? I'm just going to give my 100% opinion. Do you know what I mean? Yes, I might not give it in the way that others may do, shouting and swearing and cussing and name calling and all them things, because that ain't my style. But I will speak my mind, especially in the moment after games as well, by the way. You don't want to be too reactionary. But so that's why it might take me a while to start really looking at the manager and saying, actually, I'm not really sure about this. I take a long time to get to that point, because I think once you get to that point, there kind of is a point of no return. And I'm not saying that, again, what you have to say has to be final. If you make a decision on the manager and the manager turns it around, Arsenal fans did it. There's probably loads of Arsenal fans, not probably, there is loads of Arsenal fans that if I said during that, when that Amazon documentary went out, when they just missed out on the top four, when Rob Holding got sent off that time at Tottenham, and they lost out on it, and they bottled top four, they were all saying he's not good enough, get him out, he's not got enough experience, he's this, he's that. Now they love him, and they got Super Mick. Like, things do change, but this doesn't feel like it's going to change with Eric. That's how it feels. But I've also said, and I stick by this, I don't think we should just sack him now with no plan. There are people out there that are so against Ten Hag, and they haven't given them any sort of reason for him to stay, which, okay, I understand that. But they're saying, I don't care what the plan is, there's got to be someone better who can do the better in the here and now. And me personally, I don't believe that there's a better situation to have whilst this is going on, whilst INEOS are getting in, whilst Sir Dave Brailsford and Jean-Claude Blanc, whoever it is, are going to games and trying to and work out what's going on and what needs to change, and doing assessments of behind the scenes to really work out what the right move is. Until INEOS can confidently tell me, us, right, and voice and put into action a real strategic, deep-rooted, systemic plan for change, I don't want to see anything change. Of course, I understand that's going to come with it not getting any better, but it will just put us into more chaos, more panic, and more bad decisions. And I want to see it stop. If that means more pain to the end of the season, fine. Like, it's going to hurt game to game, and we're going to cuss the players, and we're going to feel like we felt last night. But I still reiterate, don't make any decisions that aren't ready to be made yet. Fine, make them when you've made the decision. Make them when you've taken the time out. Make them when you've made the due diligence to change what you want to change. Make them with a 2, 3, 4, 5 year plan with a new manager, a new coaching staff, a new sporting director, you know, a new structure, a new way of doing things. Make the decision then. If you get rid of Ten Hag and everything, then fine. And also, I'm also for trying to give him maybe one season whereby everything's changed around Ten Hag. I don't mind that. I'm not against that. I just want there to be a period of calm where we get the right decision. That's all I'm saying. And just on Eric, like we said yesterday, I did find it quite alarming when he said about the Scott McTominay thing. Some people posted up some stats and said, yeah, he might have a point. We made a couple more passes or some little fine intricacies. I use my eye test, mate. The first half was nip and tuck, and both teams were kind of crap. With Forest, you know, sort of doing a little bit better than us, I admit that. But it wasn't as big a disparity as it was in the second half, where we conceded 2 goals and our midfield was open and we didn't track runners, and we conceded 2 awful goals. So the change didn't work. I don't care about little numbers and little XG things and running stats and all that. We did not get any better by bringing Scott McTominay on the football pitch. I know Eric's saying about the way that the goals were conceded. One was a counter-attack. The first one, where there was enough people back, where it was miscommunication, there was my numbers back, so we should have dealt with it. But the fact is, we didn't. So we did not get any better, any more dominant by having Kobbie Mainoo on the bench and having Scott McTominay on the pitch. Therefore, fair play. You can man up to the media and say, I stick by my decision and I got no regrets. But essentially, it didn't work. The plan didn't work. Okay, it's as simple as that. So that's where I stand with that. Anyway, we're not going to end on a negative. We're going to end on a positive. A big Happy New Year to all of you guys. Thank you so much for all of the support you've shown. Not just me, but everybody here at the United View. Thank you for all of the support you've shown the channel. We've been growing. We're nearly at 160k as well. Road to 200k. And yeah, I don't think we're not going to compromise on who we are and what we do. And thank you guys for just rocking with us, man. We got a lot more planned for the future, especially next year, 2024. Going to be a big year. So thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the members who have joined the UV Members Club. You guys are all greatly appreciated. Thank you for everybody that's in the community, who gets involved in the comments, who watches, who comments on the videos, who likes the videos, who enjoys the videos. Thank you to every single person that I've met in person who say what a good job we do, and thank you for, you know, when we've had little bits of groundbreaking stuff that we've done as a relatively small channel growing, whether it be player interviews or breaking the mold or doing something that you guys have really appreciated and you guys let me know. Thank you. It goes a long, long way, and we got a lot more to come. So I'm going to end with a smile, end with a positive, walking into 2024 strong, because away from football, it is about that. Do that, enjoy, and I'll see you in January, right, for a rocky 2024, guys. I ain't going to lie. Man United wise, when I said about the Liverpool game and the Bayern game, strap yourself in, whether you're at Alton Towers or the theme park thing, put the seatbelt on, put the double strap on, put this one round, whatever you need to do to strap yourselves in for 2024, do it, because it's going to be nuts. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of change. We're going to take more licks, more embarrassing defeats, and I've called a ceasefire with loads of people. I'll probably change as soon as they lose or something, because I've got to get some enjoyment out the rest of the season, because I'm going to take loads of licks. So I might even cancel that ceasefire already, because what's the point? What's the point? But anyway, guys, have a good new year. Be safe whatever you do. Take care. I'm out of here. Peace.